On the illusion. What is the mirror of your life reflecting around you now, and what does it mean? Master Lady Kira Ra leads you on a journey of enlightened perspectives as she weaves together the elements waiting to be revealed and often not seen. A fascinating and dynamic hour that will leave your heart smiling and your soul singing. And of course, Kira Ra's famous mini soul readings. Be sure to call in. And now, here is Master Lady Kira Ra.
Namaste, beloved one. Welcome to Soul Mirrors. And in this moment, in this breath, what is your life reflecting? Really give yourself the gift of saying, hey, I am here. I am ready. I am open. And wow, am I guided. Such a big show before us this evening. So big, too big for just me alone. My beloved husband, the incredible wisdom teacher, Sri Ram Kaur, will be joining us in just a moment. And before we go even one breath further, get into the phone queue. This is the night to be in there. Get in early. You want to give a buzz over to BBS Radio right there at 888-627-6008. Again, that's 888-627-6008. And of course, over at Oneness Talk Radio, 517-208-1500. Now, for all of you that have been with us Sunday, just 2 days ago at Sri and Kira Live, you were with us last night, hashtag Monday Magic, incredible, right? You know, Sri and I we've been teasing you. I admit it. We've been doing it. We played a little snippet of a video that we're going to show you the whole piece of this evening. We started talking to you about the energy of this week, and we really began this conversation last week when I had my extraordinary guest, Christopher Fultz, which if you have not seen that episode, go back and watch it, where we opened up this congruence of consciousness conversation. The moment where we're really being invited to give ourselves permission to grow beyond the basics. And let me give you an example of how all this came to be and how it brought us to where we are right now. Because we are in a week. I just want to screen share with it very quickly for you. If we look at the up-level calendar this week right now, here's the up-level calendar from the 2021 up-level calendar. And please, 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 if you have not yet connected with the entire calendar, go to shriandkira.com, grab the calendar. You want this calendar because look at this week. You look at the calendar and remember that all of the art is literally created by myself based upon the visions they show me for the energies of each one of these months. And January 2021 comes right in as an ascended numerology 4, which is really like the ultimate hurrah of 2020. This month is very much, and this started, January 2021 started months ago, but this month is very much saying, okay, I'm going to synthesize everything that happened in 2020, and you're going to be consciously in the energy of the experience of everything that happened in that first year of the up level. And this week is a corkscrew. And you look at this in the middle there, those spinning dragon energies, these concentric dimensional energies, right? We are living in the essence of this concentric dimensionality and spiral time. And this has been the month where we have all been tested and we keep spiraling. As you gaze in that, are you spiraling or are you spiraling out? And here we are right now today. It is the 19th and you see what happened. Way back on Sunday, doesn't that feel like a year ago, right? Way back on Sunday when Sri and I started having this conversation about this rising miracle presence, we were in that outer moment where we were really in that outer ability to say, okay, we're spiraling around the week ahead. And this week has been like a corkscrew. And tomorrow, the 20th, the corkscrew's all the way in and we start pulling it out. And that starts tomorrow. And it is exactly 7 days in from that peak illuminated new moon experience that then opened the very first Mercury retrograde. And if you look at the 30th, right, coming right in, we're going to end this month going into that Mercury retrograde. Let's remember that this is the retrograde that's either going to remind all or release it, really free the mind. We are at the moment of the maximum expansion of consciousness. And because of that, we are getting ready to literally, and I know what this sounds like. So just play along with me, okay? We are at the moment where we are literally manifesting. I mean, the manna is manifesting, right? To manifest. Think about it, right? We are the manifestors of the manna. It's what we are doing right now if we just give ourselves permission to be ourselves. I want to share because it just touches my heart so deeply. Sri and I, we're so blessed to live here at toastedbluemountain.com. And honestly, it's just such a blessing to live here. I do wake up every morning going, oh my God, I get to live here. And we have guests that come in and out all the time, beautiful beings that we just love sharing time with. And one of the things that always touches me is when someone comes really wanting us to be phony. Someone comes and they really want to prove us wrong, or they really want to say, yeah, this isn't, everything they're happening isn't happening. And the first thing for me is always thank you. Because if you were with us in Monday Magic, remember that they talk about the skeptical and why that skeptical energy is so powerful and why it can really bring us into the love of who we are. The skeptic is the one who's afraid to actually trust, because they've been so wounded, they've been so hurt, they are so protected, right? That it's just like, I just don't want to be hurt again. So it's easier just to not have any of this be true, right? And that's how we self-defeat ourselves. That's how we self-sabotage ourselves. That's when our consciousness is not congruent. And so in this moment right now, what I'm enjoying the most about Toasted Blue Mountain, if I had to pick one thing, and it is really hard to do, but if I had to pick one thing, it would be the blessing that Sri and I are receiving, witnessing so many people's dreams come true and watching people who didn't even know that the miracle, right? Not only being the genie, don't you love my graphic here? This is about you are, right? You have released the lamp. You don't need to rub the lamp. The lamp itself is transforming. You're the lamp. You're the light. And it's that dance, right? We're all dancing right now. So the moment is inviting us to go beyond the basics. And you might have remembered me sharing this, and I want to share it again because it brings us right here to tonight and bringing in my beloved husband to really jump into this conversation. A couple of weeks ago, Sri and I were very blessed to be part of an experience that we haven't done in a long time. And it was fun. It was really fun. And I have to admit, it also helped me remember why we left. But it was beautiful and it was fun and I loved every minute of it. And my heart sang. And my consciousness was expanded outside of my own bubble to the perfection of the timing to witness and come out of that bubble, because you all know that I am full on steadfast commitment, focused awareness, complete trust. And that's what brought us to that situation. And what I saw was that the revered ones are still repeating the same information. And that it brings me back, as we look at all of those screens and all of those dimensions that we navigate. I remember in my CEO days, one of the things that was very important to me when I was working with others or when I was interviewing someone who often didn't know they were being interviewed, I really paid attention to, do they have 1 year's experience that they've been repeating 20 times and they've gotten really good at? Or did they have 20 years experience? And at that time, I was very young. I was very blessed to be a very young CEO and to be very successful very early on. A lot of you know that. And I realized that Sri and I really have 20 years plus experience. That every year we have had the blessing of living the journey of what is the yoga of self-ascension. We have had to grow. We have had to look at ourselves. We have had to move through the good, the bad, the ugly, always. It just comes in different forms. It just has different ways of revealing itself. And every bit of the journey, the one thing that Sri and I always went beyond the basics with was saying yes, even when it was, you must be kidding me. Making massive moves. I mean, moves that are not easy to make, Guatemala, not just from Central America to South America, to the end of South America, right? I mean, from Guatemala to Uruguay, and then from Uruguay to Ecuador, and then saying yes once more to saying, okay, we're not going to just have a home for us. Shri and I have not ever, since we have been married, except for the first few months that we were together, we have always shared our home and opened up our doors and said, we are better together. And it is a moment for all of us to really pay attention to all of those that are following those that are still teaching the basics over and over again. And I want you to really breathe that in, because if we do not evolve our consciousness, if we do not expand beyond the basics, then we limit that which we are. And to really stand up, and if I could do it without going off camera, I would, to really stand up and bow before those that are carrying the basics so well. I was eyeball to eyeball with someone that is very, very well known. And my heart just held her because she was in such fear even looking at me. And she was so afraid it hiccuped her. And all I could do was thank her. I just held her in my consciousness and thanked her and was reassuring her, because she sees her own limitation and she herself does not know how to break free from it. And to break free from that, to expand beyond that, would challenge her own fame, fortune, glory, and power. And thereby she doesn't. And she knows it. She knows it. And I'm calling you out on it. She knows it. But she can't let go of it. And she wants to. You are that being. We are all that being. The moment when we know it, and we have to make the decision to dive into it or not, to go beyond the basics, because the world that we have co-created, let's go back to ascended numerology, right? Ascended numerology is terrible choice of word, Kira, negate, okay, is predicated upon the sacred sequence. What is the sacred sequence? It begins with the date, because the date that you chose to incarnate is the first thing that brings you into this slice of parallel time, this moment where the linear perception is. So the date is the very first part of the sacred sequence of the soul. And this is what ascended numerology works with. And then it comes to the location, because it's not just Earth, right? We are in concentric dimensionality. We are living in a spiral experience. There are many, many dense experiences in this experience of density right now simultaneously happening. So it's not just the date. That can occur in several other locations. It's also the location. And so that location goes, okay, I want this planet in that moment. I insert in that moment, in that planetary experience. Then it's, who are the receptive soul carriers on the planet that are already in form that can hear your soul song to be able to co-create the name that you are born with, that thereby calls that energy into form and is the connection with the birth parent. That is the sacred secrets that sacred, I know it is a sacred secret, but the sacred sequence that births the master soul code. The master that you are, the master soul code that you carry in the ascended sequences of ascended numerology will never change, regardless of when and where and whatever parallel concentric dimension you are in. That is the essence of who you are. But in order to know that, in order to say yes to that, in order to really live the life of that, you must let go of the basics. You must ascend through the basics. And the only way to ascend through the basics is to be with others who are doing the same. Because ascending through the basics, and I've had this conversation with a lot of beautiful beings that have come here to Tosa Blue Mountain, who often come here because they are at that moment and they need a safe haven to walk through it. It demands that you walk through what I call the borderlands of sanity. And for the very few people who know me very well, that when I get to that borderland, I reach out to myself. Because every time we think we've reached the borderlands of our sanity and we really allow our consciousness to expand and we adapt to that expansion, and we're able to adapt through the compression of that which is really wanting to stay the same. And that's when you are walking through those basics, when you are really expanding your consciousness, when you are congruent in all that you do because it's just the right thing to do, that's the moment right then when everything inside of you that may resist will throw it at you. You'll know where your soft spots are or where the mastery is needing to be loving you more. It will often affect your family of origin. It will often affect your friends. It will often affect the way you live, how you live. You will always be, once you ignite that ascended presence, you are always in the conscious cycle of awareness, experience, and choice. And that's what lifts us beyond the basics. It takes us to this year right now. Back in March last year, March 2020, when the COVID experience started expanding on our planet, Shri and I came out and we told all of you, we are with you. This is the moment. This is when you know. We upped our game and we are upping it again. And we came out and we said, here's every week how we can touch base. You are not alone through this. We know things are getting crazy. We know this is the moment. We're all being activated. Let's hold on because we haven't done this before. We're all doing it together, right? So as we are doing this, Monday Magic birthed because of you, because of this incredible community, because we came together and we said, thank you. Thank you for giving us the excuse to dive into the truth of who we are. How many of you, because you have been able to have the time to remember who you are, look at your life right now. Look at the miracles that are happening. We are watching them here at Tosa Blue Mountain. They're incredible. We are watching people. I am watching people lose 20 years off of them in like 20 days. I'm witnessing people reverse age that are living here. We are witnessing people finding the loves of their lives through this community. That's the power of Monday Magic. It's the power of coming together and saying, we are not alone. We are all at the borderland of whatever sanity was there. And we know that together we are better. Thereby, we're going to go beyond the basics because we are not afraid to do it. And for those of us that have been doing it all along, and for those of you, this may be your very first show, we're so glad you're here. This is the moment to keep walking because the greater universe is manifesting the miracles that this energy is co-creating. So breathe that in. This corkscrew week, tomorrow, right? So we've been opening up this amazing bottle, right? This great bottle of wine. I mean, like the one, like you've got the perfect glass, you've got the perfect moment, you're opening this bottle of wine, and tomorrow we are popping the cork. And then we start pouring on the 21st. And that's going to take us all the way until we get to that Mercury retrograde. So in going beyond the basics, in the miracles of the manna that is manifesting, I'm going to manifest from behind the curtain here, my beloved husband, wisdom teacher, Sri Ram Ka, because we have so much more show to go. And we're going to be taking your calls. So remember, get in there, 888-627-6008 and 517-208-1500. And just like that, we manifested my beloved, amazing angel, wisdom teacher, Sri Ram Ka. So welcome, sweetheart. Thank you for being with us this evening.
Hi, everybody. Glad to be here in this dynamic Aladdin's lamp of
Woohoo!
Fiery creation.
Right? We are that.
You know, it is amazing that creation always has a little heat associated with it. And heat is the release of energy. Heat is how we notice that there is a alchemical transformation going on.
I love it.
So for those of you that have been getting warm, for those of you that have had a flush on your cheeks from time to time, say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I am transforming. I am ascending to a new level of attainment.
In every way. Now, let's talk about those miracles, right? Are you ready for a miracle? That's when you go, ready as I can be.
Yes.
Right? Yes. Yeah. One of our favorite songs. So when we are in this miracle presence right now, the world, everything is speaking to you. And in this spiral time experience, what is speaking to you? What has been spiraling back? What has been coming back in fascinating ways? You know, we've had so many confirming energies around the spiral energy, but through the context of Monday Magic, through the context of being blessed to really discover that all of our early ensoulments were seated for right now.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that happens in any discernment, let's start there, is the quality of your apprehension, the quality of your discernment is a direct reflection of your level of consciousness. And now levels are not hierarchical. Levels are degrees of refinement that you are able to discern the difference, you know? And so as we lift vibrationally, as we become more compassionate, less judgment, more available to the divine, when we read a divine text, it has a greater depth and meaning than before.
Right.
And we're able to communicate and understand the nuances that we just went over your head earlier on.
The codes, as Archangel Zadkiel had shared with us, you know, and this is one of the things that when I talk about, we really have 20 years experience and more, not including quantum time and time compression and all those things. But when these were delivered, right? When these were originally delivered, we were very clearly guided. We were very basically instructed by the archangelic realm. It is of utmost importance that you shepherd these as they are delivered, that you do not change one word, that you keep them as they are, that you put them out there. You don't need to do anything, just put them out there. And we did that. We actually did that at great cost, because all of the original ensoulments are up at our website. They're there, they're free. The whole thing's out there, unedited as it came in. And many of you know that one of the last things that we did was we had the book deal and all the other stuff going on around us. But the caveat was that we would basically sell out Zadkiel and that the words would be dramatically changed and lots of other things.
Well, what that means is like most modern agencies, they seek to modify the teaching to
fit something,
to fit the consciousness of the marketplace.
Basics.
As opposed to hold the teachings until the market is ready to receive them. That's a whole different motive, is it not?
Right.
You know,
that's really it. That really is it.
And so we were being asked to basically shift the communication, to eliminate certain pieces and say we could sell more copies if you do it this way.
Right.
And so that's not the goal.
And it was, Shri was to cut his hair and, the whole deal. And we made the decision, the conscious decision to say no. We honored consciousness and we left. And we also were guided very strongly, and we had known from our honeymoon. It was during our honeymoon. Our honeymoon was actually in the Yucatan. And it was very powerful during our honeymoon. We were very clearly guided that we were not going to be living in the United States much longer. And we had just bought Tosa Ranch.
Yeah. Now that you moved in, get ready to move
now
again.
Now that you just bought this ranch that you thought you'd be there the rest of your life, get ready. And so when we left and we started what I fondly call our 10-year walkabout, we exponentially have been blessed to have had come together in Sedona, moved together to New Mexico, then to beautiful, incredible Guatemala, then to Uruguay, and now here in Ecuador. We see the blessing of this gift as these points of gathering the mastery that brought us to be ready for that COVID moment back in March, when together we all said, it's time to break the seals. We literally opened the seals, guys. And what we did was we said, okay, the divine directors were very clear The temple was going on here at Tosa Blue Mountain. Things were being discovered. And in that moment, when those seals came off of the Living in the Fifth Dimension series, the codes that Archangel Zadkiel had told us were there revealed themselves. And as these have been revealing themselves, the one thing that happened for Shri and I, and we talked about this on Sunday, was that our book, Sacred Union, The Journey Home, original copy, and of course, a more current version, right? It's been out there because it's that important that the codes in this book are also being revealed to Shri and I once more as well. And this is why we were first inspired to say, okay, we hear you. The entire up level of consciousness is so critical in 2021 that this is the year that we must all step it up even more.
There's a couple of messages there, a couple of learnings. One of them is that when you sit at the feet of the master in trust, then trust. You know, it's not up to you to edit, change, or modify the wisdom.
And you tried.
Yes.
He more than once, he would argue with them.
You know, and it's about that respect and that surrender to say this was what was given, and it is inspired. It is coming from a place much closer to the divine than the worldly judgers. And let it be. Let it have its effect, its presence, and its timing. And we are at a time now where consciousness is not only rising, but there also is a teeter-tottering going on. And that this is the time to allow in the inspired material, to allow in the energy of truth as the healing salve for your consciousness. Because truth is truth. Consciousness is easily contaminated by objects that carry energy. It doesn't change what consciousness is. What it changes is that which you perceive as truth. So it's critical that we hold a high enough frequency to tell the difference between truth and falsehood. And at the lower frequencies, you cannot tell the difference. What you have is authority telling you what's so, and you say, okay, I will give you my power. Or you have consensus telling you what's so, and you say, okay, I will give you my power.
Groupthink. Groupthink.
Or you have fear telling you, just don't anywhere but there, go anywhere but over there, and then you give that your power. So consider how the entire progression of humanity has been one of displacing personal authority in favor of perceived protection and perceived comfort and safety. And that's been the journey of humanity, except for, you know, exceptions. There's always those few shiny ones that go, wait a minute. And so here we are as a collective operating at a higher level than ever before.
And we know it. So what if right now you could expand beyond, and instead of revering the technology and whatever of Atlantis, how about accepting that right now the consciousness you're holding is already higher than that moment? Now, I hear some of you going, I don't believe that. No, your conscious mind won't. You meaning the mind of this form. Those of you that were in Monday Magic last night, and if you weren't there, go to ShriandKara.com and get there. Click on Living an Ascended Life. Be there. Remember last night? Right now, we're looking at all the bodies consciously. So the physical body is really speaking. The emotional body is really speaking. And each one of these bodies has their own heart. So you've got the physical body and the physical heart, the emotional body, the emotional heart, the mental body, the mental heart, the spiritual body, the spiritual heart, the ethereal. You are, like it or not, having this simultaneous experience. And this is the moment right now that is saying, if you can lift above the basics are going to keep you trapped in a sense of insanity, trapped in a sense of a loop that's going to keep going. Or right now, the manna before you is the miracle presence in form. And it brings us to a miracle that Shri and I have had 16 years in the making, 17 years in the making, 16, probably 16 years in the making. And then it happens like that, right?
Uh-huh.
So you want to share the film or should we just roll?
Let's share the film.
All right. We're going to show you a short film because we started teasing you with this on Sunday. And so we're going to go ahead and we're going to show you this film right now. And we will be back to share even more with you in just a moment. Enjoy.
Namaste and welcome. I am wisdom teacher Sri Ram Ka. And this is my beloved Master Lady Kira Ra. And we are here today to share with you the miracle of the book.
Wow. I first just want to share that if you don't know what the miracle of the book is, welcome to our community. First of all, I'm not going to show you the front of it yet, but this is the book. And this is a true story. We have shared some of it on some of our radio shows over the past 16 years. And we're really called in 2021 to really document, put this down and assist people to start really having the gift that we're having through the experience of the book.
So the time period of this little story, it began anyway, it's really unfolding now.
It really is. It's a time loop.
The time began when Kira and I were living at Tosa Ranch, is what we called our facility in New Mexico. We were actually in Tijeras, New Mexico, outside of Albuquerque.
7,500 feet, ironically, exactly the same altitude we are here, but with very different weather.
Quite different.
Yeah.
And it was 2004.
Yeah.
I believe November, and it gets cold there.
Really cold. We had pellet stoves.
And so our pellet stoves are just like efficient wood stoves. We had stacks of pellets on the front porch.
Stacks.
And the stove would just go and warm the house, and we had gone shopping.
We went to Albuquerque.
So Kira and I took the 30-minute drive down to Albuquerque to visit the convenience of the supermarkets and stock up for our kitchen and needs. And we were smiling, and we drove home. And as we walked in the front door,
literally, as we walked in the front door, right? I remember opening the door, the groceries in the hand kind of thing, unlocking, had to unlock, it was locked. Unlock, opening the door, and literally right there before us, because it was a very small home. It was an original adobe home, very small but stunning. When you walked in, right in front of you, we had a little, that's where the fireplace was with the stove going, and a little table. And that's when, and many of you already know, this book was there. And I just want to show it to you. This is the book, the I Am Discourses. And yes, the apparent coffee ring was there. And it did have the spine at that time. And I remember looking at Shri and going, did you put those books there before we left? Because it was just so obviously an addition, because it was not only this book, there was also a second book with it.
And so what we were presented with was this book, the I Am Discourses.
After we both really went through our did you, and neither one of us could claim anything to this book yet. We had to unlock our home to get in.
And so we went through a moment of, you could call it disbelief, astonishment.
We really did. Yeah.
Going, how did these books get here? Did you do it? Did I do it?
No, really. It's like, did you forget?
We paused, we unpacked our groceries, and we came back to it, and we said, maybe someone dropped them off, and we called a couple folks.
We actually called some people.
No, because it was one of those things, it was a manifestation. And
it really was.
It was like, that had not yet happened to us. Mm-hmm. So this was the first of, there would be more.
There would be very many more. And so after we both really got that, then there was the ensoulment from Saint Germain that came in. And then as we didn't even open it right away. We were just really sitting with it. But as we sat with it, the first thing that we noticed as you would open it, and again, it's disintegrating, was that it has notes all through it. And they're all very, very, you can tell it's fountain pen, because this is, and we'll show you the title page in a moment. And this is the only other books that were out at that time from Godfrey Ray King was the Unveiled Mysteries, Volume 1, the Magic Presence, Volume 2, and the I Am Adorations and Affirmations, Volume 5. And I am literally reading from this book. So as you literally, let me just hold it up a little more, as you literally turn the pages and you can see they're starting to really disintegrate. Here's the one that blew our mind, and we're going to put up a picture of it in a moment. It came to us signed by Godfrey Ray King himself in his own pen. And Shri, you want to put up the
Yeah,
picture
so
of that?
I'm going to first show you the book. This is a picture of the book.
Right.
Very simple, and this has been out since 1932.
I can read it here. I can read it right in the book. We have it. Copyright 1936.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then this is the plate that Godfrey Ray King signed inside the book.
And you see his, his handwriting and the beautiful. So we're going to read it.
Yes, please.
All right. So the full form of your mighty I am presence fill your world with all happiness, perfection, and limitless supply of all good things. Now, forward, sustained. Godfrey Ray King. And when Shri and I first engaged this book, we sat in bed every night and read it to each other. And we did that more than once.
Yeah.
We did that more than once. It was really a guiding light for us in the early days of us getting out there and being out and navigating. And more than once we would come to here, and more than once you've heard us quote from here. And we wanted to share with you that the other thing that's in here, and maybe I'll show it to you in the book, but maybe Shri wants to put it up in a moment. This is an original in the book, and look at the condition. This is an original magic presence color plate. Look at this. Look at this.
Very unusual for books of that time period to have a color plate.
And to be like that. And what we're going to be explaining shortly is, if you overlay the Divine Galactic Blueprint on that, you see the ascended presence, and even more so. And so we wanted to share with you just how this book came to be, how special it is, the energy it emanates. And a year ago, we were very, very clear that the book is disintegrating. And we really honestly at that time, let's leave that up. Let's just, there we are. We really at that time thought it was disintegrating because it was ready to move on to its next beings, to the ones that were to receive it next. And many people come here to Tosa Blue Mountain, and we do let you experience the book in person.
And by the way, the book is emanating a tangible, felt, high vibration, very high. And on Hawkins scale, this book calibrates at 770. So that's in the sainthood range, beyond that, actually.
Yeah.
And so when you hold the book and breathe and relax, you will begin to feel the hum of your own divine nature calling you forward.
Whew, so let's really breathe that in, because what Shri and I, in the moment of 2021, in the experience of multidimensional presence, what we now know is that the book was disintegrating because we had not unlocked it. And it has been through the Monday Magic, through the process of Monday Magic, and through all of the keys that we have been unlocking through the Living in the Fifth Dimension series, the Lessons of Light, the Divine Galactic Encyclopedia, now Living in Ascended Life, that this book has been calling to us again. Saint Germain has been very present. This book has been calling to us again. And what we have not shared with you, and we'll just share with you a little bit, is that this book is filled with notes and teaching guidelines. And there's also pictures and other things that have been placed in here. And what we now know was that the reason it was given to us all so many years ago to shepherd was that, should this moment come, contained inside this book is the self-ascended Course in Miracles. And what Shri and I now know is that it's our time to unlock it with you.
The energy of this book and the truth that it represents will activate a knowingness and a state of being within each reader who sincerely connects with it.
Yeah.
And when I say sincerely, I mean the energy of your heart comes forward, not just the intellect reading the words and the languaging that reflect a period of time in the 1930s. The truth is beyond the context of the culture and the language of the time. And this is part of the unlocking. The other piece of unlocking any scripture is the level of consciousness of the one that is gazing at it. All sacred scripts can be understood at various levels of discernment. And it would be our privilege and our delight to offer to you that which we know is true at this time, and that this Ascended Course in Miracles can unlock the secrets of your soul, can expand your consciousness and the joy of being alive.
You know, Shri and I really can't deny that this book came to us under whatever circumstances. What we do know now is that the reason it came before us and the reason that we have been unlocking all of these other keys in the ensoulments was to bring us to the moment where consciousness, the collective consciousness, has ignited, and that what Godfrey Ray King and his beloved wife did together, Shri and I are honored to say yes to offering the keys to unlocking this for this moment right now. This is a moment where we are all co-creating this energy, and we really, with all of our heart, invite you to join us. This is the next set of Monday Magic. It's Hey, guess who's here? So we hope you are as excited as we are. And, jump into those phone lines, because we want to get over there and start asking, hey, what do you think? How are you guys on board with this? What we know, and this is at our website. Shri, let's share we have on our share. Shri's got the book right here. And I also just want to share with you right here, we are expanding consciousness together, and we will be expanding consciousness together as the I Am discourses are revealed. The Self-Ascension Course in Miracles is beginning Monday, April 12, 2021. And so it is up at our website, shriandkira.com, and there is a lot going on. Yeah. And so we are very excited. Shri, you want to show them the book? It's in his hands
we want
right
to jump
now.
to some calls, but this is a perennial teaching and a fabulous activating book that is so important that you greet it with the level of consciousness of your ascended presence.
Yes.
In order to fully accept the power that it will call forward. And one of the things I delight in having an old book in your hands
it just rocks.
Is its own special thing.
It really is.
And in the little movie.
And hey, can I just say one thing? Yeah. If you're going to join us, we go get the book, right? Go find the oldest. One of the things we want to do is find all the older ones. Go get the copies of I Am Discourses, because we'll each have our own copy. Go ahead.
Yeah, because in 1935 or so,
36,
and 36, et cetera, when they began this series of discourses,
ooh, careful, honey.
It's
falling out.
Yeah,
careful.
I'll get that.
Yeah.
Okay. The intro plate and the symbolism of the pyramid and the flame was establishing a connection to your consciousness.
Yeah.
However, one of the things that people need to remember is that this work is delivered through the grace and love of Saint Germain.
And look at this plate of Saint Germain in the book. Is that incredible? Yeah, isn't that great? And see, these are some of the notes we're telling you about. This book has had many owners. There's notes in here that are in very old fountain pen. There's notes that are in pencil. There's notes that are in blue pen. There's so many different things. It's just been really the teacher's manual. And so we are so excited to go beyond the basics, because the time of the Self-Ascension Course in Miracles is now. And April, the month of the resurrection, of course, that's when it's ready. And this is why the Living an Ascended Life series must happen right now. And this is going to also ignite at the same time that Navigating the Inner Matrix. The Avesa energy is coming out in February. This is the moment to go beyond the basics. So, Shri, let's jump to the phone lines. Let's go over to Oneness Talk Radio first. We've got a whole bunch of people holding over here. And let's hear, what do you think? So what do you guys think of what's going on? All right, we're going to, Amityville, New York has their hand up. Amityville, what do you think? You ready to join us?
Hello, Michaela, how are you? Thank you so much for taking my call.
Welcome.
I think this is such a amazing. I can't wait. I'm excited to join this new offering. And I want to share that last year it was really a huge lesson in trust for me, especially November and December. I just don't have words to share how I experienced for the first time a new level of trust. And I really wanted to thank you for all that you were putting forth and how it's just been helping me beyond words. And the reason I raised my hand today, I had a question. It's not necessarily a physical ailment, but I believe it's a manifestation of a distortion, and it's hard for me to talk about it. It makes me feel very vulnerable because it's related to sexuality. So I would appreciate any insights you might have, and it's about the inability to release and surrender to the partner and to trust, I guess. So maybe the next step of my journey, experiencing trust. Thank you so much.
Oh, sweetheart. Thank you. You're asking this for so many. So many are walking through this same moment of mastery. And so thank you for the courage and the beauty and the blessing of you and for calling in. And Shri, did you want to jump in first?
Well, this is indeed an intimate and profound discussion.
Yes.
Because it relates to some tender times, some wounding that happened long ago. And it's important to recognize that the gift of any traumatic situations in our life is the degree to which it opens up our heart, the degree to which it opens us up to spirit. And that there comes a time when we recognize that the past is past. I accept the gifts, I accept the learnings, and now I release the habit of guarding myself from further pain. And that is the challenge and the gift that awaits, to release the habit of guarding, because you are precious, you are tender, and you deserve to be loved without judgment.
And I want you to breathe that in. And as you do, sweetheart, I want you to know that I'm also feeling really in your high third chakra and in your heart, there is a resolution within you of who you are. You are at a moment, you are so beautiful, so tender, so fragile, and yet so strong. And everything about you is saying, love me more. Love me more. Your body is saying, love me more. And so how can you love your body more right now? How can you really say, I love you? For me, it's an hour a day on a treadmill. It's a way of saying, I love you. I honor you, right? It's about taking care of the body. And so in this moment, I've got my arms around you, and I want you to love you more and unify this moment, because you are courageous and you are at a moment of great mastery, reclamation. And that's why this has come up. And thank you for bringing it up for all of us. We love you so much, honey. Namaste.
Much love to you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, honey. Mwah. We love you, sweetheart. Namaste. Well, Shri, let's go right here. It looks like we have somebody from New Jersey. And there we are right there. It looks like Woodbury, New Jersey. All right. Let's say hi. Namaste, Woodbury, New Jersey.
Namaste, Shri. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Welcome.
This is such a blessing. And you both are a blessing of all that you share and all that you give, and your heart and your higher consciousness is felt every call. And I feel an expansion in my higher self, my spirit, every time. And I just, when you were reading about that book, that it was so intriguing that I just kept feeling like I'm exploring the mysteries with you. So I want to express my gratitude for that. So I am in a space where I would like to have guidance for a mini soul reading. If you have the space and time, would be fantastic.
Oh, of course we do, sweetheart. And thank you for asking. And thank you for sharing. We're very excited that we are collectively birthing a self-ascended Course in Miracles. And so thank you for airing that sharing. Very much so. And as you were doing that, wow, right here, right on the top of your physical heart area right now, I'm feeling what feels like a not a tightness, but more almost like it's like you've been carrying a burden in your heart. Like your heart is just trying to carry so much of others. It's like I feel it here, but it's like it's pulling from behind you. It's like you've got this, like, I don't know, energy coming from your back through your heart. And then you're like holding it and trying to walk like you're dragging a big, heavy burden, but it's coming right through your heart. And what they're saying, all of these beautiful beings around you, they're saying, fear not and lay down the burden. Free your heart to see you again, and the rest will unfold miraculously. That's the word they're giving me. So it's your time. It's your time. Yeah. I love you.
It's such a blessing. Thank you so much. It's so beautiful. And that's exactly what I feel. And I have such compassion for everyone, for my community, for the community that I'm in with you and everyone around me and the world. And I can't hold it up myself. So it's a great relief to hear that. And thank you for the guidance. And I'm just so grateful and I'm in such appreciation. Much love to both of you. Thank you so much.
Oh, we love you. Thank you for being you. Now go have fun. Be you. We love you. Namaste.
Thank you. I'm going to dance.
Woohoo! I'll dance with you. Let's do it, girl. I'm there. All right. Namaste.
Oh, much love.
Oh,
Indeed.
do you all feel that? I mean,
Yeah,
that's, you know, and I love that is always all of our callers, Shri. To go beyond the basics is to put down the burden that you believe you're supposed to be carrying, to put down that which you think is yours to be shouldering alone. You are not alone. There are more of us that have a voice than we have let ourselves be known. This is our moment, because this moment has come. Had this moment not coagulated in this timeline, we'd still be going our merry way. But we're here right now because we have been called. And for those of us that are standing up and saying, yes, we are here, we are ready, we are open, and we are guided. And we are taking the action of our guidance to hold the expansion of consciousness beyond the basics, to model that gift. I can't even begin to share with you how many times Shri and I speak with people who are stunned that we're articulate, who are stunned that we are intelligent, who are stunned that we are very much aware of the quote unquote real world. And this is merely because of the consciousness that meets us. When you live nakedly authentic, and that is what we model, we model naked authenticity. We do walk the walk. And we have done that continuously together as our next anniversary creeps up on us this month, 19 years. We've been doing this, and we are here with you right now because it's the right thing to do. And that's the only reason we do what we do. And that's why we've walked away from things. Because when you are nakedly authentic, your power is beyond density. You can no longer be bought. You cannot be manipulated. You cannot be persuaded, because you are the walking emanation of mastery. And unless you are around other masters, you're going to scare people, because when you are in the presence of the real thing, you must yourself rise to the occasion or not. Chapter 1, the minute Shri wrote me, I had to rise to the occasion to be with this incredible man. And I was scared. When I got that first email.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh my God. We met online, right? And his very first email, escalator to expansion. And I remember sitting there going, oh my gosh, before I even opened the email, I knew that if I pursued this, I was going to have to actually be everything I said I am, everything I wanted to be, everything I ever thought of. I was going to have to actually be it.
Yep. Yep. And you bring up an important point, which is many people get caught in the trap of trying to figure things out, or to make sense of things, or to bring what is divine into worldly paradigms. How about you let go of the worldly paradigm and you embrace the divine? Instead of trying to make sense out of things, just trust things. Trust the divine.
There it is. And so trust the I am within you. The discourse of our divine presence on the planet is birthing through us all right now. Go to ShriAndKira.com. Check it out. The mastery year ahead of us. Check it out. Get into Monday Magic right now, Living an Ascended Life, and make sure you get into the beautiful upcoming moment where we are unlocking the I am discourses. We love you.
Take a deep breath and smile, because I know I am. As I gaze out and feel each of you, you are loved and you are love.
We look forward to being with you again next week. Mwah. Namaste, everyone.
Thank you for joining us, and be sure to tune in every Tuesday at 5:00 p.m. for more adventures. You can learn more about Master Lady Kira Ra at shriandkira.com or visit their YouTube channel, Official Shri and Kira. May your heart in all ways know the Master you are.